Hello, everybody, and welcome to this sports show number 34. Today, we are joined by not only Blake Bellamy, but also Joe Townsend.
Thompson.
Go Thomas.
Joe,
Tired
Whoa,
lineman for the Bears. Browns.
And we're going to be breaking down the AFC and NFC conference championship games. Blake, what's going on, man?
Good, man. Excited to watch some football today. That's all I'm going to be doing.
All day, dude. Football day.
Joe, what's up? Thanks for coming on.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's going to be a good one.
Absolutely. Love talking ball.
So, let's get into the Bengals and the Chiefs. They come on at 2 today. Who you guys got? Don't give me predictions just yet. Just who do you like in the game, player wise?
I think Joe Burrow's going to have a great game. The guy's been on fire the last, 6, 7 games. I think that's not going to stop here today. I don't trust the Chiefs defense to stop him. Him and Jamar Chase probably just going to go off. Pitch and catch.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow have been playing so fucking hot lately. I mean, they almost have there's almost like an upset vibe here that I get because the Chiefs have been just running so hot for such a long time. 4 straight conference championship appearances. I think they've all been at home. I mean, that's just impressive to do on any level. But, I mean, good God, Jamar Chase is probably he's probably the next Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I mean, he's a talent. And you got to think, this guy didn't even play football in 2020, okay?
Yeah.
He didn't even play football. And then he comes out, gets drafted high, absolutely just tearing the league up. And I agree with both of you guys. I think it's going to be – I think the Bengals are going to show up. They're going to put a lot of points up on the board, but there's nothing the Bengals defense presents that makes me think that they're going to stop or slow down Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I think – what is the over? Does anybody know the over-under?
I don't know the over-under.
It's got to be 60. If it's not in the 60s, I'd put money all over it. If it's in the 50s, I'm putting money on it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a high-scoring game. These are two powerful, explosive offenses. You see the shit Mahomes does. He throws footballs like you've never seen in your life. He throws them through people's legs, around their bodies, on the side of their hip. I mean, it's unbelievable the trajectory that this guy has with his passes and the high percentage of completions that he makes. I mean, it's a fucking video game.
Yeah. No, I mean,
13 seconds.
Yeah, he's basically a human joystick at a quarterback. The no-look pass has basically just made everybody want to do it.
I mean, he does shit that you can't even make guys on video games do.
Yeah.
Like, he's more than a video game. It's almost like supernatural, like Matrix type shit.
Yeah.
It really is.
Did you ever see Wanted, where you the person could shoot the gun and curve the bullet around?
That's how he does footballs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't understand how he does it. He's somehow broken the laws of physics.
He really has. He really has.
I don't even need to look at things to know where they are. All right.
It's like a receiver's here and he throws a ball here and it curves back into his chest. It's like,
and it's a touchdown.
Somehow. Yeah. And then Tyreek Hill's going to run it for 90 yards, but it'll look like 5 so fast.
Yeah, and he's going to give you a peace sign while he's running by you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's how fast he is.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to move his arms. He's running by you with his legs.
He had a touchdown last week where he was squeezing somebody in front of him.
That is rude.
It is. Like, dudes are over here running as fast as they can, and he's, like road runner. Peace.
Oh, that's dirty. Oh, I've never
it is disgusting.
That is, that hurts.
Yes.
So one of the things I wanted to do today when we're talking about each of these games is I want to talk about some people in the trenches who maybe don't get some love that should probably get some love. And for the Bengals, I have Quentin Spain and I have defensive tackle DJ Reader. Titans fans in the room should be aware of who Quentin Spain is. And they might be able to remember who DJ Reader was when he played for Houston not too long ago. But DJ Reader has been an absolute stalwart on any defensive line that he's played on. He is a strong, dominating presence up front, and he'll typically play the one technique or maybe even kind of an outside shade there, just over like splitting the gap between the guard and the center.
Yeah, and Quinn Spain. I mean, like you said, as a Titans fan, you know what he's like. He's a solid player. He gets after it. He plays hard. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. He's an undrafted guy, so he's scrapped and clawed his way, through the league to this point. And I mean, if you have any, passion or love for the game, you've seen what he said towards Jeff Simmons after last week's game. If you're a Titans fan, which is just bonkers, it really is, because we all know Big Jeff used to whoop his ass in practice every day. And the fact that they gave up 9 sacks, how can you even open your mouth, dude? You won because you're your field goal kicker, not because of your performance. You didn't do shit.
He also won because of Ryan Tannehill. Doesn't
Exactly.
know
Ryan Tannehill didn't
good.
have a good game. So that just pissed me off. Honestly, I hope Chris Jones mauls the shit out of Quentin Spain tonight. And I hope that they run games and Quentin's is just his head's on a swivel all night. I hope it's a miserable ass night for him, and I hope the Chiefs absolutely bring the damn house in the toolbox with them tonight when they play the Bengals. And I hope it is just because think about it. Think about how good the defense for the Titans played, the front four. Think about the pressures that we got and the sacks that we got off of 4-man pressures. We didn't even bring anybody from the edge or the secondary, anybody, no backers. It was just 4 men, grown ass men up front, whooping the shit out of the Bengals.
What is
9
interesting?
sacks. 9 sacks in a playoff game, okay? That's huge. That is huge.
What is interesting about Joe Burrow, with like you mentioned that we didn't even blitz him. We just had the 4-man rush. Well, Joe Burrow is actually much worse against the blitz. I'm sorry, much worse against 4-man fronts. Whenever they blitz him, his passer rating on average increases about 30%. So if the Chiefs just keep running 4-man rush, that's what they need to do, and just blanket the secondary over Chase, Higgins, and Boyd, because the man's got some people to throw to. Whenever you single coverage one of those guys, Joe Burrow's gonna find him.
You can't. This is my thing. I do not expect the Chiefs to single Jamar Chase at all tonight. Wherever he is, I don't care if they're in man coverage. I expect the corner or the nickel or the star guy to be off coverage on Jamar Chase. You do not body him up at the line of scrimmage unless you got help over the top.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can do that. But other than that, I am making everything. I'm playing top down against Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Let him run those little screens. Let him run those slants, those crosses, those curls. But keep everything in front of you. Don't let the big play happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big point of focus today for the Bengals, or excuse me, for the Chiefs against the Bengals.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier Chris Jones, who is one of the people I also wanted to highlight for the Chiefs. For a number of years, he's been, I think it's like, year 4 or 5 in the league for him?
Yeah, he's still a young guy.
Still a young guy.
Yeah.
He's been very, very effective and very, very, very good at like tackles for loss, huge in the sack department.
Penetration.
He'll just blow up an offensive line all by himself. He'll take the center and the guard and he'll push him back into the quarterback's lap, and he'll make a life living hell. And he alone, I think, is going to be what I can't necessarily say he'll be the equivalent of the 4 Titans guys, but he'll be
a force.
He'll be a force to be reckoned with. He'll be the double, triple team target for most of the Bengals offensive line, I think.
Yeah, they're going to have to cover him up. A guy like that, he doesn't even have to make a tackle to impact the play.
No.
He's impacting the play regardless. All you got to do is watch what he does, and he's driving somebody back in the backfield, or he's squeezing to keep a guy from getting to the second level. I mean, he's impacting the play in many different ways than actually making the play itself.
Yeah.
And then Tyrann Mathieu, is he still healthy? What's his deal?
I don't know.
I don't think I saw him in the last game. Is he back? Is he healthy?
It looks like he is going to play. He's going to be fully healthy, but It's the AFC Championship game. Tyrann Mathieu's gonna play.
Give him some Toradol. He'll be okay.
He'll be all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're gonna need him, especially just as safety help. Like he's gonna have his work cut out for him. Just kind of like in the Super Bowl. I know he got blown up against in the Super Bowl last year, but
Oh yeah,
they're gonna need him. They're gonna need him.
Yeah.
The other person I wanted to mention on the Chiefs is a rookie from the University of Tennessee, Trey Smith, 6th-round draft pick. A lot of people didn't draft him because of the blood clot issue that he had earlier in his Tennessee career, but it's since been addressed, and he's playing at a very high level very, very quickly in the NFL and on a team that's probably going to yield him some rings. He's going to be very, very leaned on tonight. DJ Reader is a veteran player that's going to be changing up from lining up against him and Creed Humphrey, the rookie center, as well as, he'll slide over to the other side sometimes and be up against Creed Humphrey and Joe Thuney. Or is it Thuney or Thuney?
I think it's Thuney.
Yeah.
That's how I pronounce it, but I don't know.
Anyway. So he'll
be from Hendersonville, Tennessee. What the hell do I know?
We don't know anything about no fancy names. But yeah, so that matchup right there, Trey Smith, DJ Reader, that's going to be one that they're going to be leaning on, hoping that DJ Reader can make the rookie make a quick and early mistake, because that's what they're going to need from him. I think the Bengals are going to be in a situation where the Chiefs are going to be putting up a lot of points, and the Bengals are going to need to be throwing the ball even more than they did against the Titans. And if that's the case, then DJ Reader is going to be making his damnedest. Is going to be making sure that fucking Trey Smith is getting worked.
Yeah. So I have a question for you boys. Do you think the run game is going to have any presence for either team in this game?
I see a lot of quick outs. I see a lot of if they are going to run the ball, it's going to be some read option. It's going to try and persuade the defense to commit to one thing, and then boom, you pull it, pop it out to the side, or Mahomes is quick enough to keep it. I see the Bengals trying to establish a run against the Chiefs, but as opposed to the Chiefs, I see them doing what the Chiefs do, getting the ball on the perimeter, hurry up offense, not wasting a lot of time, getting the ball in the playmakers' hands and putting your guys in space. I don't see the Chiefs lining up and running a lot. Now, if what the Chiefs do isn't working, then yeah, you're going to have to establish a ground game, because what does the running game do? When you have a successful running game, what does it do? It opens up everything else.
Yeah,
it does.
Yep.
So at some point, if they're not clicking, if they're not on all cylinders, yeah, they're going to have to establish a run game. But I'd look for the Bengals to come out and try and establish that more than I would the Chiefs.
Yeah, I agree. Joe Mixon's been pretty absent this playoff run that the Bengals have been doing, and I think there's gonna be a lot of read options. I think
think about it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think they might just get Joe Mixon in the passing game. Also, just dump the ball off to him, let him get him in open field, and just let him work, because he hasn't been very involved at all. He's been wanting to, and they want him. He's been a stalwart for that team all season, and he just hasn't really done much. He didn't do anything against Tennessee, and then didn't really do a whole lot against the Raiders either.
Yeah, and for the Bengals to establish the run game, I mean, that keeps the ball out of the Chiefs. Hands. So
the Chiefs do have the 24th defense.
Yeah.
So,
there's going to be some room to exploit some things. I mean, it's not like we can just forget the fact that the Chiefs defense allowed Ryan Tannehill to put up 27 points on them.
Right. Yeah, and the Chiefs defense have allowed in the last 4 games outside of the Ben Roethlisberger game, they've allowed 30 points on average.
Yeah. So I mean, they're playing a lot better, but I still don't. I mean, I don't like them.
I don't think anyone likes this Chiefs defense. You got Tyrann Mathieu and then Chris Jones and it.
They have a rookie middle linebacker, Nick Bolton. I can't remember where he's from. I feel like it's Texas, but I could be wrong. He's playing pretty well. But I mean, beyond that defense, there's Frank Clark is an aging edge rusher, so I don't feel like he's been the threat that they thought he might be. I can't even remember the other guy.
They had a guy from Auburn. Used to
or Hand or something.
Golly, I can't even think of his name. But the Chiefs defense, it's definitely not been their strong suit this year. I mean, you've seen the points that they've given up. But when you have an offense as prolific as they are, and I mean, think about this, guys. The Bills had the game in the bag.
13 seconds.
Patrick Mahomes is the only quarterback, other than probably Aaron Rodgers, in the NFL that can take the ball in 2 plays in 13 seconds and get a field goal to win a game. I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous. Did you see Josh Allen's family celebrating with 13 seconds left up in the stands?
Yeah.
I mean, they were crying tears of joy because they thought Josh Allen just came back and won that game. In hindsight, I did too.
Yeah.
I thought that damn game was over.
That was the most watched divisional round playoff game ever. 50 million people watched like the last
it should have been.
however long.
Did y'all see did y'all see that video that was released about the last play about Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes talking?
No.
Okay, so that before that last play, Patrick told Kelce told Patrick, he said, "Hey man, if they do this again on defense," he says, "I'm not running that route." He's like, "I'm not running the route that's called. I'm gonna run to the open spot." And he was like, all right, sounds good. Line of scrimmage, he's in middle cadence. He pauses. He says, "Do it, Kelce. Do it, Kelce." Like you hear Patrick Mahomes screaming, "Do it, Kelce, do it." Kelce fucking leaves the route, runs a streak route right to the open scene in the middle of the field, nails them, falls, timeout, game's over.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even run the play that was called. That's a vet making a vet decision and saying, "Look, if they do that shit again, I am going to exploit them where that weakness is in this defense." And that's where he ran that route. His route was not designed to go to that weak spot in the defense. He fucking did that himself.
Yeah.
That is what big time football players do.
And that's why they're going to win a lot of rings.
No coach had a problem with that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And can we talk about how the Bills just kept playing prevent defense right then? I don't understand. They just kind of let everything underneath happen. And that was just the worst defense I've ever seen in my life in that last drive.
That was awful. That was awful.
That was terrible.
I mean, they were playing top down, but at the same time, you got to understand who you're playing against. Situational football. All they had to do was hit the middle twice. That's what they did.
No.
That's what they did. And they won the game.
Yeah.
That game was over, dude. I'm sick for Josh Allen.
I am too.
That guy is a fucking stud, dude.
And because
Josh
of all
Allen
of this,
is a stud.
and because of all of this, we get more out of the fucking Mahomes' brother and his.
I hate that family, man.
They're just the worst. They're just the worst.
I know he wants to
Life
put
was-
his brother in his face. I know he does.
How can you not? Just look at him.
Everything that kid does is cringeworthy, man. I wish he'd just go to a game and enjoy it and like
Be a human.
not dance and stick his tongue out and shit.
Yeah. Just be a normal human. I don't know.
He's living off his brother's wealth, man. That's all he's doing.
Hey man, he is riding his bro's coattail. There ain't no doubt about it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm not gonna say that. Never mind. That was gonna be really over the top.
Well, think
all
about
right,
what
so-
team you like. We all agree we all hate Jackson Mahomes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor guy.
So who we got? This is like, give me your picks. If you got a score prediction, give me your game. Or give me your score prediction.
I got the Chiefs 34-31.
Okay, Blake.
I don't have a score, but I am going to go with the Chiefs. I would not be surprised if the Bengals end up winning this game. The spread's at what, 7 points?
Yeah.
I'd be scared to bet
They'll
on that.
cover. They'll cover the spread. I do think that. I think the bet, if you're gonna bet spread, it's Bengals all day.
Yeah, if I had a bet, I'd probably bet Bengals.
I'm gonna
I don't
go.
see a big blowout.
I'm gonna go 41-38 Chiefs. I think it's gonna be a lot of points. I think it's gonna be another one of those things where, like we saw against the Bills, they're gonna be late game people trying to make some heroics happen, and maybe that's even when maybe the Chiefs get out to such a large lead that the Bengals have to just
Claw back.
claw back.
And they find a way.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
All right, so let's move to the 49ers showing up to LA, a place where they beat the Rams in overtime to make sure that they could go into the playoffs this season. That being their 6th consecutive win. and Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers are 7-10 or 7-3 against the Rams under Sean McVay. Um, do you think that the streak continues against the Rams, or do you think Matthew Stafford gets the hump, like gets over the hump and gets the monkey off his back and gets into the Super Bowl?
This is a hard one for me. As a fan, I want to say the Rams because I want Matthew Stafford to go to the Super Bowl and win it so bad. However, what do the 49ers do best? They run the football. They're a very physical team. They're just going to rely on the run. They're going to put Debo Samuel. He wouldn't surprise me if he gets 25 touches between running the football and receiving. I think they're going to keep running the football. I think they're going to do everything they can to keep the ball out of Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, and Matthew Stafford's hands. And the Rams, I mean, their pass rush is the best. So they're going to shut that down by just not even allowing them to get to the quarterback. I'd be hard pressed to say that the Rams are just going to walk away with this win. I think San Francisco has a serious chance at it, and I think it's going to be one hell of a football game. I think it's going to be the exact opposite of the Bengals game. I think it's going to be low scoring.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what the over/under is, but I would if it's 50, I might bet under.
Yeah, this is going to be a bloodbath tonight. I think this is going to be old school fashioned football, and I think that both teams are going to have to establish a run game, and I think they're going to try and do that early, and they know that, and they understand the type of game this is going to be, and it's going to be low scoring. It could be a 10-7, 14-10 game. I mean, that's a very realistic, possibility in my opinion, and I'm excited for it. I'm more excited for that game than I am the first game. Obviously, I think the first game is going to be electric.
Yeah.
But the second game, if you like good old fashioned football, I think you should definitely tune into the second game.
I'm glad you actually brought that up because a couple years ago, when the Rams were in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, and the score was like 13-9 or whatever the hell it was, just super low scoring. Everybody was calling it the worst Super Bowl ever, and I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?
That's good football."
We just watched defensive football for the first time in like the history of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, at least in our lifetimes. I mean,
Right.
like back in the day, like before the Titans entered the Super Bowl picture in 99, 2000, every Super Bowl was just a blowout. I mean, think about the 85 Bears. They won 45-3.
Yeah.
Like,
you don't see that. I mean, the last time that happened was when the Broncos whooped the shit out of was it the Panthers or the Seahawks?
It was the Panthers. And then the time the
Seahawks also blew out the Broncos.
Yeah.
That was an embarrassing game. It was like a safety on like the first play of the game.
Yeah, it was like
but somebody won like $3 million on that. They like put like $10,000 down that the safety was going to be the first play of the game.
That's some insider trading right there, man.
$10,000?
Well, yeah, you got to be. I mean, they're just filthy rich to do that.
Yeah, but goddamn,
takes money to make money.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's a bold move, Cotton.
I think the 49ers have a decent chance today if they get if they can establish the run game, which is their bread and butter. As I mentioned in the last playoff centric episode, Kyle Shanahan is a chip off the old block. He likes to establish that inside zone running game like his father did with the Broncos back in the day. And Gary Kubiak kind of does the same thing. But Kyle Shanahan is going to build the entire game around what the running backs are able to do. And if the running backs can't do it, he'll just supplement Debo Samuel, who's having probably the best rushing season for a wide receiver that we've seen in modern history.
Mm-hmm.
But
I agree.
Defense wins championships, fellas.
It does.
So both teams have an absolute studs, I should say. Aaron Donald for the Rams.
I mean, he's unstoppable.
I mean, what, defensive player of the year probably
3 times in a row.
You won 3 times.
And then
Lawrence Taylor is what the only one's ever done.
Have they announced that this year yet? Those awards or no?
No, I think those are like the week before the Super Bowl or something.
If he don't get defensive player, he'll get most valuable defensive lineman, I think.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Big Jeff Simmons might get it, honestly.
I wish.
If he got it, that'd be tight.
It would. I mean, I'm not even a Titans fan. It'd just be tight. I like seeing dudes like play defensive line pretty well. I'm sorry.
He's 23, 24 years old. He's still a pup too.
Yeah.
He's gonna win one at
He is
least.
in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. Um,
He's a grown ass pup.
and then, yeah. And then the 49ers have a young middle linebacker by the name of Fred Warner, who's been playing lights out football since he entered the league. I can't remember where the hell he came from, but Fred Warner.
No idea.
But he's been playing phenomenally. He's a very fast, very intelligent. He loves reading the guards on run plays, and good God, just watching this man play middle linebacker is a lot of fun. He kind of reminds me of the way Urlacher used to play, like side to side, just like all over the field. He's got that kind of speed and that kind of like game recognition. So I think he's going to be somebody that's in Matt Stafford's in his face and around the ball every single play.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up baiting Matt Stafford into something. So, do you guys have any other defensive players that you want to talk about?
Yeah, Eric Whittle.
Oh yeah, they brought him out of retirement.
Retirement. This guy hadn't played since 2019 out there balling.
Mhm.
Think about it. Came back for the playoffs, dude. Hadn't
He
played
played
in 2
well.
years. Came back for the playoffs, balling out.
That's
Wanted to
crazy.
point that out. That's just crazy.
That is crazy.
People think like that. He makes it look so easy, but you can't just walk off the street and go play in the NFL.
No,
That shows you that he's been staying ready. He's been staying active, been taking care of his body.
and he's been talking to Sean McVay apparently every day, like they're like best friends or something.
Yeah, so.
Another thing,
probably because Eric Weddle's still like 8 years older than him.
yeah,
He's
it's hard. It would be hard to talk about the Rams defense too without mentioning how genius it was to bring in Von Miller. I mean,
Oh,
even
God,
just look
what a
at last week, Von Miller was just tearing up Tom Brady.
Mhm.
Whenever, I mean, they were already stout on defense. They're like, you know what's going to put us over the edge is bring in Von Miller. But just having him in here relieves the pressure off Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd, and all of them have just been killing it this year. That is like the three horsemen right there. Those guys have been awesome. They've been everything, and then you're chasing them, and then you have Jalen Ramsey on the back end, just ready to pick you off. His defense is incredible.
He's been playing lights out. It's another SEC boy.
Nope, he's not an SEC boy. He went to Florida State.
How did he went to LSU?
No, he's Florida State.
Jalen Ramsey went to Florida State.
Yeah, 100%. He's a Tennessee boy, though. He's from Franklin or Brentwood.
Yeah,
So he grew up a Titans fan. He's still a Titans fan.
That might be what I was thinking.
Brentwood Academy.
Yeah, Bruin Academy. That's where he went. And Fred Warner, by the way, he went to BYU, 3rd round pick.
Yep, there you go. That's it.
Yeah, and I am hoping that the Rams are going to win this game. I think they will. I don't trust Jimmy G. I know he's been there before. Both of these teams have been here before. They're very experienced in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at quarterbacks, I'm taking Matthew Stafford over Jimmy G. I think there's better team. I think they're better coach. I think they're both great coaches, but I'd rather have Sean McVay than Kyle Shanahan.
I'm with that.
Yeah, I agree too. Matt Stafford is definitely a lot better than Jimmy Garoppolo, especially because Garoppolo's got like that thumb thing going on, and his shoulders strained, I think, too.
Yeah.
So he's not playing 100%, and that's never really a great thing. But they somehow made it work against the Packers.
And they do have Trent Williams coming back too, so he's going to get his big left tackle back, which he needed back.
That's a game changer because that dude is a stud.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
I mean, he's elite, dude. He's like he like wears ice skates in his pass sets. Like he's so fast and violent, it's unbelievable. If you want to watch an offensive lineman absolutely dominate, watch that motherfucker tonight. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be playing heavy against Vaughn and Leonard Floyd.
He's gonna be pissed off.
Yeah. Speaking of Leonard Floyd, that's the Rams outside linebacker. How do you?
I played against Leonard Floyd in college. He was at Georgia. I was at Vanderbilt. Very good player, rangy. Fast. Get off. Talk about a guy that can get sideline to sideline. I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, Doesn't matter what kind of play you're running or what you do. That guy, he's going to find the football. He's
Was
that
he
guy.
one of those guys when you played against him, you're like, man, that's a pro football player right
Oh
there.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. You could tell. You could tell from the get go. This dude's the real deal. He played as a freshman. I mean, started as a freshman at Georgia.
Yeah. I mean, you don't.
He was a
that's not
true
re-
freshman starting from day one.
Yeah, that's not common, especially in the SEC.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
in that. I mean, that's like
Awesome.
Davion Clowney stuff. You know.
Yeah, that's just not a very common thing. But he got drafted by the Bears. He had some injuries up there. He didn't ever really quite get right,
Yep.
and then he's not re-signed, and he goes down to L.A. and it looks like he's having a career revitalization now, and he's actually getting to play pretty damn well. And he'll be playing against probably Rob Havenstein. Oh shit, no, he won't be playing against Rob Havenstein. They're on the same team. Just kidding. Read the wrong name. But they'll be playing a lot of outside. God damn it.
Yeah, he'll be playing against Tom Compton and
Reggie.
against
My
Trent
dog
Williams.
is breaking my train of thought. I just hear a squeaky cartwheel, and it's like I hear choppers going on. Sorry. So Joe, what do you know about Rob Havenstein?
Well, I know he's a big former first round draft pick, I believe, out of Wisconsin. Big right tackle. He's a massive guy. He's a road grader. He's known as a road grader in college. I mean, I don't think you really understand how massive this man is until you're around him, and then you're like, "Holy shit!" This is
Yeah.
why he was a first round pick, right tackle. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
his hands, just the length of his arms, the thickness of his neck. I mean, the dude's 330 pounds, and he's put together.
Yeah.
You know, when you weigh that much and you look good, like like you're a problem. You know what I mean? And the guy's a problem. I think early in his career he struggled in his pass protection because he was known as such that big, heavy road grader in college. He was a dominant run blocker. I'm not saying his pass protection was weak, but I just think it wasn't elite. And I think he's really improved on that over the years. And I mean, that's why he's starting for a team that's playing in the conference championship, or the division, the division championship. So,
and I think he's still in his late-ish 20s.
Oh yeah, he's
so
young.
he's still got
I was
years on
playing
him.
when he got drafted.
Yeah,
or we might have been the same year. I don't even know, but yeah, I know. I'm very familiar with him. Yeah, he's a good player. It's somebody to watch as well.
Yeah. And his matchup against Eric Armstead with the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Armstead is a young defensive end, edge rush talent. I believe a first-round draft pick as well. San Francisco's spent more first-round draft picks on their defensive line than anybody over the last 5 or 6 years.
And they all pan out too, really.
They've all been really good, and they're just like, "Hey, we'll trade DeForest Buckner. We got depth. We don't need him."
Right.
Like when you get to a point of that, I feel like you've just stacked your defense up pretty well.
Yeah.
And now that these huge guys are running this system to perfection, the linebackers like Fred Warner are able to just run rampant all over the field, and they're really able to take control of the game. When we were playing defense in high school, we ran a 50, which is a little bit different than a 3-4 because our defensive ends were the outside linebackers in a 3-4.
But they were just guys.
They just ran contain.
Yeah, they didn't do anything. They didn't pressure.
Right.
They did not blitz the edge. It was the most bizarre thing ever.
Weirdest thing ever. But that means that the guys up front, not necessarily including the defensive ends, but the defensive tackles and the nose guard had to eat up blocks and make space and holes for the linebackers to get through and blow stuff up. And you see that still taking place in a 3-4 as compared to a 50. But still, the very core of it is you want huge athletic men to be able to just throw people back and cause absolute hell in the backfield. And that's something that the 49ers have been doing phenomenally over the last I don't know, 14 weeks of the season since they were like 2-5 to start the year and ended up squeaking into the playoffs at 10-7.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's crazy to think about how like the season has panned out for some of these teams. Didn't the Titans beat 3 of the 4 teams that are in this? We beat the
That's correct.
49ers, we beat the Rams, we beat
The Chiefs.
and we beat the Chiefs.
Yep.
I mean,
Blew the
man,
Chiefs out.
sorry to change the topic, but God, that makes me sick.
Look,
I'm right there with you, buddy.
I knew that the Titans weren't going to have it this year. Like, I just knew it. The last game against the Texans told me all the things I needed to know. I mean, that's all I needed to know.
It's unbelievable, man. It really, really is. Golly.
Yeah, and I was there in Nashville when they lost to Houston.
Were you?
Yeah, and it was cold and rainy.
I was there too, cold and rainy, but you were happy when you left.
Yeah,
I was pretty bummed.
There were a lot of very somber, soaking people just kind of sloshing around.
I got sick after that game too, man. That was pretty rough.
The worst, dude. The worst.
But
Titans will win it next year, though. It's all good.
Yeah, that's right. Next year's our year.
yeah, Tannehill's just gonna fix his brain.
Yeah, that's right.
So that brings us to Alex Mack, the center for San Francisco. He's been in the league for probably like 14 or 15 years by this point. He's been a perennial All-Pro. I think he was the center for Atlanta not too long ago.
He was.
And then he came from Cleveland. He's been a really solid starter everywhere he's gone. He's always been the leader of the offensive line. He's very, very smart, and you can tell that Matt Ryan and that Jimmy Garoppolo have a lot of trust in him. They have a great rapport. But you can also see when they're doing the snap exchanges now with Garoppolo's thumb injury that there's going to be a lot of potential fuckery. Hold on.
You're lucky to have it all pro like him, though, snap you the football.
Yeah. I'm going to have to step away for a second, but you guys.
Perfect.
Yeah, you guys got this?
Yeah. Hell yeah, we got it. Get out of here.
Yeah. Curtis, we're taking over your show, man.
Yeah, dude.
all right.
We got this. Now it's a real show.
We want to do? You want to go to Titans talk or something while he's gone?
I don't care, man. Titans, I mean, what a disappointment.
Yeah. We
Disappointment.
see Jim Schwartz is right now. He's interviewing for defensive coordinator position. With
Jim Schwartz is?
Yeah, for Indianapolis. So I really hope that does not happen.
Yeah, that would not be good for us. We want Indy, Jacksonville. You know, we want those Texans. We want those teams to suck as much as possible. We don't want anything good to happen for them.
Yeah, it looks like the Jags were trying to hire Eberflus and Byron Leftwich.
Yeah.
Byron Leftwich is wanting roster control, and it looks like they're not going to give it to him. So he may not be going be their head coach, which they always hire and draft the wrong players and coaches. So whoever they hire, I think they're just going to fail anyway.
I thought Brian was going to Jacksonville. Leftwich.
No, it was never confirmed. Apparently, the roster control is what's holding up that deal.
You just said that. That's right. Well, that's crazy. So, okay, so explain that to me. When you say roster control, like what does he not have control of, and why?
So he wants to be able to have the freedom to draft and choose who is going to be there for free agency. Like he wants to have his voice known for all of those. Because generally, the GM does all the drafting for the most part. Like the Titans, for instance, Vrabel is involved in a lot of that. He has semi-roster control. So Byron Leftwich is wanting to draft the players and sign them. And it looks like they're not going to do that, especially for a first-year head coach. I understand the hesitancy for that, but everything the Jags have ever done.
I don't understand it because they've been a dumpster fire for the last 10 years. Why would they not give the guy what he wanted?
Exactly. And especially Byron Leftwich. I mean, he was a Jaguar, so he has a vested interest.
Right, exactly. He has a huge vested interest in that program.
Yeah, and he's one of the best up-and-coming coordinators in the NFL. I would want him on my team.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree. I would definitely want him on my team as well.
Yeah, in Houston, they just had a second interview with Josh McCown. It looks like they're going to try to draft hire a former player as their head coach because they had Josh McCown for a second interview, and they also interviewed Hines Ward, the former wide receiver for Pittsburgh. Wow. And that would be interesting to see.
That would be. He hasn't been in coaching at all.
Apparently, he has. He's been working with the Cardinals. I didn't know that.
What's up,
Yeah,
dude?
he's like a assistant wide receiver. It's nothing like too crazy. I don't know why they hired or interviewed him to be a head coach.
How are you? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
getting a little loving right here from the little guy, the dog right here.
oh, the puppy or
The puppy, dude. He's
Reggie?
beautiful. What's up, big guy? Or big girl? Is it a girl?
I think it's a girl. Yeah,
Big girl. Sorry.
but you can't assume gender anymore, though.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if she wants to be a boy, she can.
Or they them.
I'm just saying.
Could be anything.
What's up, baby boy? Sadie. Hey, baby. Dude, I'm telling you, man, it's something about puppies. They just love me. I don't know if it's just because I'm a big fluffy guy or what. But I swear, it's unbelievable. Oh, man. I think Kurt's coming back in here.
Yeah, there he
You need
is.
to tell him how much
Young
better
man.
the show went without him.
Yeah, we just basically said the Texans are going to suck and the Jags are going to suck.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't know why Brian Ruthledge does not have control over that entire organization.
Yeah, whoever they, I mean, I guess they are like shell shocked from Urban Meyer because they let him have control and how great that panned out.
Exactly.
So I guess I can understand the hesitancy, but
Talk about
Byron Leftwich,
dumpster fire. That was just a straight dumpster fire.
I mean, I said this on the podcast, back in April whenever they made this. I think Curtis, you probably said the same thing, man. Like that was a failure from the beginning. I don't understand how they just didn't understand that. Like it was obvious.
I not liked Urban Meyer ever since and this is kind of a weird thing, but he had the heart condition that made him leave Florida, and then he came back to Ohio State, and then he had the heart condition came back or something, and he retired and started working for ESPN. Bless you.
Thank
you. And then hold on, that actually made me think of something. Did you guys see the video of the kid who sneezed and said "bless
when he
me"?
got drafted?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that was Quentin Williams with the Jets.
Bless you.
Bless you. Thank you.
I laughed.
Bless you.
That dude's a national treasure. He's so funny, and he had the braces on too.
Yeah, just a young buck out there.
He said, "Bless you." Thank you.
He knows his manners though. But anyway, so back to the 49ers and Rams here. Who we got tonight? Who do you think wins this game? Give me your score predictions.
I think it's going to be the Rams, and I think it's going to be a 10-7 game or a 14-10 game. I think it's going to be a very close game.
Blake?
I'm going to say it's going to be 24-17 Rams.
24-17. Okay.
A little bit higher scoring than you guys probably think, but I think maybe the fourth quarter people might be just throwing it up.
Yeah. Just be going for it.
I'm going to go 13-17 San Francisco.
Okay.
I don't know how or why they have their number, the Rams number, 6 in a row. But they do, and I think that plays a factor in this. It's not that, any of the people on the 49ers team are new to being in the playoffs or big games or anything, because they were here not that long ago. I mean, they beat Aaron Rodgers every time they meet in the playoffs. They have weird stats like this that they just continue to honor. So I'm going to keep rolling with it. But I think that kind of brings us to the end of the show. I want to thank Joe for coming on.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here, man. This is awesome. Love talking ball. Love doing podcasts. So if you guys ever need a guest, just let me know.
Will do.
Yeah, man.
And Blake, thanks as always for being here.
Yeah, always fun.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Good seeing you, Blake.
Yeah, good seeing you too, man. It's been forever.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
But this has been This Sports Show 34, AFC and NFC Conference Championship Week. Thanks for watching and be good people.
There it is.
See you guys.
See ya.
See you, man.